The moment the wig went on, something shifted. Before, I had always seen myself as a man wearing women's clothing, a punishment, a role, a game of power. But this time, the illusion was real. Frighteningly real. I didn't look like a man in drag. I looked like a woman who had stepped out of a finance magazine, stern, stylish, confident, and sharp. My legs looked long and smooth. My waist, cinched under the skirt, gave me shape. The lipstick, subtle nude, matched the warmth of the blouse. And the wig? It completed the image. Helena stood behind me. She suits you. I don't know who she is, I whispered. Yes, you do. You just spent years pretending not to. Later that afternoon, unmarked envelope. I returned to my desk hours later, still shaken, still trying to focus, when I noticed a small envelope left under my keyboard. No name. No note. Inside was a single Polaroid photo. Me. In the outfit. In her office. Caught mid-pose, eyes half-lidded, lips parted in confusion, the wig just slightly tousled. Vulnerable. Real. On the back, in Helena's unmistakable cursive. This is who you become when no one's watching. I should have felt violated. Instead, I felt seen. That night, I didn't wait until the weekend. I dressed again that night. Not in anything she'd given me, in something I chose. A light blue wrap dress I'd secretly ordered the week before. Soft gray tights. Flats, not heels. Simple. Comfortable. Real. And when I looked in the mirror this time, there was no confusion. There was only her, the version of me that was no longer just a consequence or a costume. Message from Helena. Tomorrow. 7 p.m. Dinner. Business attire. No discussion. Dinner? What could that possibly mean? Had I proven myself? Was this a reward? A test? Or something deeper? Either way, I knew I'd show up. Not because she owned me. Because some part of me wanted to be owned. Tuesday, 6:47 p.m., Helena's building, Upper Manhattan. The driver dropped me off in front of a private, glass-wrapped high-rise just blocks from the park. Not a restaurant. Not an office. Her penthouse. I stared up at the building, suddenly aware of every step that had brought me here, the tights, the skirt, the shame, the thrill, and now this. Inside my coat was a dress Helena had sent me earlier that day. Business appropriate. Elegant. Deep green. The package had arrived in a black box sealed with a gold ribbon and a typed note. Tonight you dine as her. Not him. No exceptions. The elevator whooshed silently up 36 floors. My heart pounded louder than the machinery. When the doors opened, I stepped directly into her penthouse. Soft jazz played in the background. The air smelled of bergamot and smoke. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the glittering skyline. Helena stood at the far end of the room, already dressed in an obsidian satin gown, hair pinned back like a movie villainess. A wine glass balanced effortlessly in her hand. "You're late," she said with a smirk. Traffic." She waved me off. "Go change. The powder room's to your right. The mirror in there is, brutally honest." I found the room and locked the door. My hands trembled as I pulled the emerald dress from my bag. The tights, a soft graphite shade, slid up easier than ever. The dress hugged my frame perfectly. Every button, every line, every seam, tailored to fit the version of me I was still learning to see. The mirror didn't lie. She was there. Not perfect, but poised, frightened, and stunningly real. The dinner table. Helena poured me a glass of red wine as I returned. Her gaze swept over me approvingly. "Better," she said. "Now sit." The table was already set. 2 places. Candlelight. Silver cutlery. Imported plates. Classical music now hummed softly in the background. This wasn't dinner. This was theater. "You're probably wondering why I brought you here," she said, slicing into her duck with terrifying elegance. "Several guesses," I muttered. She laughed. "Good. Curiosity suits you." Between bites, she laid it out like a lawyer presenting a case. "You're not the first man I've done this with," she said. "But you're the first one who didn't crack." I blinked. "What does that mean?" "It means," she said, sipping her wine, "that this isn't about punishment anymore. It's about evolution. Reinvention. You've crossed the bridge willingly. Now it's time to decide, are you still Connor in disguise, or someone else entirely? An impossible choice. I stared at my plate. Part of me wanted to scream, to say I was still me. A man. A man who wore clothes under pressure. Who could stop any time. But I couldn't lie, not to her. Not to myself. The version of me sitting at that table in heels and lipstick didn't feel fake. She felt like the most authentic version of me I'd ever known. I don't know who I am anymore, I said honestly. Helena set her glass down gently. That's the most honest thing you've said since day one. She stood and walked behind me. Her hands touched my shoulders, light, cool, but commanding. I don't want you to choose tonight, she said. I want you to feel what it's like to stop hiding. Not just from others. From yourself. Then she whispered. There are people coming. The doorbell rings. My stomach flipped. People? Yes, she said smoothly, walking toward the door. A few guests. Friends. Colleagues. You didn't say, Helena, I can't. You can, she said firmly. You already are. Before I could argue, the front door opened, and in walked 3 sharply dressed professionals, 2 women and a man. And every single one of them looked directly at me, not with confusion, but with recognition. One of the women said warmly, so you're the one Helena's been bragging about. My knees almost buckled. Helena handed me a second glass of wine. Relax. They already know. My face flushed. About what? She smiled slyly. About my project. The one I told you about. You're not the only one who wears a mask at work. A living exhibit. The night turned surreal. I was introduced as Callie, not Connor. They spoke to me like I belonged, complimenting the dress, the confidence, the voice I didn't realize I had softened. No one sneered. No one laughed. If anything, they were fascinated. As the night went on, I realized Helena hadn't brought guests to humiliate me. She brought them to validate me. To show me that this identity, this transformation, could exist outside her control. The cage had a door. And it was open. The only question left was, did I want to step through it? The morning after, in front of the mirror. I stood in front of my bathroom mirror in silence, still wearing the emerald dress from Helena's dinner the night before. The curls from the wig had loosened a bit. My lipstick had faded. The tights had a small snag just above my knee. And yet, I couldn't take it off. Not yet. Because the reflection staring back at me, Callie, wasn't a costume anymore. She was a question I had no answer to. Who am I when no one's watching? Helena had given me the name casually, in front of her guests. But hearing it spoken aloud, accepted so easily by strangers, did something to me. It was intoxicating. It was terrifying. And now, it was real. Wednesday office, 11:03 a.m. Everything looked the same. The same gray cubicles. The same bland coffee machine. The same irritating buzz of the fluorescent lights overhead. But I wasn't the same. After dinner, Helena told me I could choose. Return to Connor. Or let Callie live beyond Mondays. She didn't pressure me. Not directly. But the offer came with a caveat. Eventually, someone else will find out. Better it be on your terms. And like a slow leak in a dam, my hesitation began to crumble. I started small. A slimmer fit dress shirt. Slightly tighter slacks. A spritz of the body mist Helena had gifted me. Just enough to feel her, beneath the surface. And that's when Ben, the sales manager, stopped me in the hallway. Hey man. You, doing something new with your look. My heart almost exploded. He wasn't angry. He wasn't mocking. He was curious. I laughed too hard and muttered something about better tailoring. But that moment stuck with me all day. The world hadn't ended. Yet, I should have known it wouldn't last. I arrived at my desk and found an envelope sitting on my keyboard. Inside were 3 things. A blurry photo, me, in the parking garage on Monday morning, holding a garment bag with heels sticking out the side. A sticky note that said, "Interesting wardrobe, Connor. People are talking." And worst of all, a printout of my LinkedIn profile, with the name Callie Hale scribbled over it in red marker. I looked up and scanned the office. Everyone looked normal. Too normal. I felt the walls closing in. I ran to the elevator, hit the button for floor 22, and burst into Helena's office without knocking. She didn't flinch. "Close the door," she said calmly. "I'm being followed," I hissed. "Photographed. Blackmailed." Her eyes narrowed as she held out her hand for the envelope. She flipped through the contents, unbothered. "I told you this would happen eventually." "This? This is harassment." "No," she said, standing. "This is your moment." "My what?" She walked slowly to her drawer and pulled out a thin, matte folder. When she opened it, I nearly gasped. Inside was an updated employee profile, new headshot, new name. Callie Hale. Project Analyst 2. "What is this?" She tapped the folder. "Your protection. Your proof. Your rebirth. You prepared this?" "I saw you coming long before you did," she said. "And now the only question left is, do you want to fight your truth, or own it?" That night, my apartment. I sat in the dark, the folder in my lap. The weight of everything I'd become settled around me, not like a trap, but like a second skin. Callie wasn't an accident. She was the product of every suppressed moment, every sidelong glance, every awkward fantasy, every locked memory. This wasn't blackmail anymore. This was becoming. And I wasn't afraid of Callie anymore. I was afraid of losing her. Monday morning, HR office, 8:58 a.m. For the first time, I didn't hesitate before knocking on Helena's door. I didn't fidget with my blouse. I didn't check the seams of my skirt or smooth down my tights. My heels clicked on the marble like punctuation. I was Callie, and I was ready. Helena looked up as I entered. "You're early." "I'm ready." She nodded slowly, her eyes sweeping over me like a sculptor checking her finished work. "Then let's begin."